What's going on, everybody? It's your boy KRYPTONIAN SAIYAN here, bringing you guys another Black Clover chapter review for Black Clover Chapter 343. And today, we got a lot to talk about because not only is our boy Asta not able to catch a break, but things have just gotten a lot worse for him because the Wizard King has just shown us once again how much of that dog that he's got inside of him by having the Paladin show up in the Land of Sun to track down Asta, and he made sure to have Sister Lily, Asta's lifetime love interest, be the one that tracks him down. It's bad enough that Asta just got his heart broken and almost got killed by Sister Lily, but now it looks like she's coming back to finish the job. After being in setup mode and getting time for some good old-fashioned shonen training material, we finally look like we're moving into the next phase of this arc, and on one hand, I can see why a lot of people are excited about this, but it also, maybe it's just me, I was actually enjoying the world building that we've been getting, but nevertheless, Tabata hasn't missed in this arc. So if he's saying that the cooking is done, then the cooking is done. And with that being said, let's back things up a little bit and let's get into the brief recap before we go into my overall thoughts. Now, the chapter opens up with Ichika using her power to pull Asta towards her, and in order to stop herself from getting too far gone, Asta is forced to enter into his union mode as he hopes to stand on a level playing field with her. Asta's strategy is pretty sound and why he wants to use this union mode, because he's trying to block out what it is that Ichika is attempting to do. This leads to a great exchange between union mode Asta and Ichika, and Asta for a moment looks like he's gonna get the drop on Ichika when he goes in to attack, but Ichika is able to avoid the attack and she uses her dark magic Black Star, which creates an opening for her to attack by pulling in her enemy. But not to be outdone, Asta uses this Demon Destroyer sword afterwards, and it leads to this remarkably well-drawn set of panels where we see Asta and Ichika flying towards each other with intense focus on their eyes, but the clash ends with Asta being sent back down towards the earth and into the water. Ichika then takes things a step further by telling Asta that he can't win in a battle as Zedden against her, which makes a lot of sense. She's a master at the fighting style and Asta has only just begun to use it. That'd be like someone who just learned to play basketball, wanting to play the 12th guy on the NBA bench. They're gonna get destroyed. However, Ichika takes things a step further by saying that if the Wizard King is the equal to the Shogun in terms of status, someone like Asta who doesn't have any real strength, no real conviction, no real determination will never be the Wizard King. Now, this one sentence right here does a lot for me as a reader because it continues to build on the pattern of what we've seen so far in this final arc. For as strong as Asta is, there's a gap between himself and the Wizard King, and it's not just about power. Asta is freaking strong, there's no denying that, but the strength that Ichika is talking about, the strength needed to be a leader of men, it's more than just power. And I love Asta's getting this thrown in his face by Yami's younger sister. For as much as she might appear to hate him, she's teaching Asta just like Yami would have done. However, to Asta's credit, he pushes back by saying he can feel more than just anger in Ichika's ki that's directed at Yami and Asta himself, but before he's able to finish it, Ichika shuts him off, and if I had to guess, I'd say her ki has a sad feel to it, just given the tsundere trope of her character. This leads to another pending clash of Asta versus Ichika, but this time Ryuya shows up and pulls a Kakashi from Naruto and breaks up the fight with a great double page spread that immediately made me think about Kakashi stopping Naruto and Sasuke from fighting in Naruto Part 1 on top of the rooftop. Essentially, Ryuya said, enough with this back and forth, we don't have time for this right now. We see Ichika apologizing to Ryuya, and Ryuya takes note of Asta's injuries, but the only thing that Asta is focused on is the fact that he couldn't pull off using Zedden, and that was the reason why he lost. However, it doesn't stop him from vowing to get better at using this power, and based off the face that he's making, one could argue Asta is going to figure out this power in a life or death situation, because the key to likely pulling off this power is knowing where you fail and how to make the necessary adjustments. Asta's got to grow into that. However, Asta has no time to dwell on his own failure because Ryuya announces that they're here and the people that he's referring to are Sister Lily and the other two paladins. Now, what I will say is I did enjoy this fight between Asta and Ichika a lot, and what I liked about it is that it keeps up with the level of consistency, in my opinion, with the power scaling, which had the potential to be broken, because you have people memeing that Ichika could defeat Lucifero. We know based off this chapter that's not the case. Asta clearly wasn't going 100% against her and was trying to incorporate Zedden into his fighting style, and Ichika clearly pulled off the win here due to her own skill and experience. It opens up the door now that the paladins are here for Asta to tap into this power on a fluke when he fights them in the coming chapters, but it also makes things more tense from a conflict perspective because Asta has only a few options now if they're gonna win. Lucius will know that Asta is for certain alive, which might lead to another confrontation between the two. Also, if Asta pulls off this power in the fight and it is a fluke, Asta will be able to pull off the move later on just because of the fact that he's experienced using it once before. Similar to, say, Son Goku from Dragon Ball with Ultra Instinct. He had a couple occasions using an incomplete form of Ultra Instinct, and when he needed most, the power came to him as a need. He memorized that sensation and began to master it in the time afterwards that passed after the Tournament of Power. I think we're getting a similar thing here with Asta. This chapter does a good job of pushing the plot forward while subverting the expectations of the reader, because Tabata made it seem like we're going to be here for a few days of training and maybe it's possible that they hide Asta so he can trade, but I think that's not going to happen. A good twist like this that finds a way to subvert what the reader thinks is going to happen, what they want to happen, and it pushes the story forward in this manner by ending on a cliffhanger works so well in manga format, in my opinion. However, what I find most interesting is that Tabata looks like he's taking another crack at what worked in the elf art, where people we thought that we knew ended up being elf possessed, because with the paladins, it looks like Lucius is purposely selecting particular wizards and they're people that we've seen in the past, as we can see in that last panel. My question is, what narrative payoff is he going for with this to try this again, albeit in a different route than before? It's going to be really interesting to see the payoff for this moving forward, and it's also going to be really interesting to see if Tabata starts building on even further some of those hints that you had, the connection to the underworld with the land of the sun, and building on more of that stuff and potentially explaining whether or not Lucius is aware of that. I think that we got an opportunity here to not only get some amazing battles in the chapters coming forward, but also get some more expanded world building. I don't think we're going to see Lucius pop up here. However, I do think that, again, just having the paladins here, that's a good sign that Asta, his back is against the wall. He's got to get it in gear. And I think this is a good conflict injector into the story. My chapter question to you guys is, what do you think Asta was about to say about Ichika's key, and do you think it's too soon for the paladins to show up? While you think that over, click here to watch these other Black Clover videos you see on the screen right now.